Welcome everyone to CILC's Community of Learning. My name is Tammy Moring. I'm so glad you could all join me today. With us today is going to be Banyan Global Learning. There are going to be many co-hosts that are going to be presenting with them. So I'm going to let each of them introduce themselves so I don't mess up anyone's names. And so at this time, I'm going to hand it on off to them. But if you have questions, go ahead and use that chat at the bottom of your screen throughout our time together.
Great, thank you, Tammy. Hi, everyone. My name is Teacher Courtney, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Let's get started. Today, we're going to be talking about aquatic animal habitats, and this is a field trip live. So, as you are online explorers, I need a little bit of help from you today. That means please be ready to write in the chat box. We'll be giving you some questions, and we want your involvement throughout our field trip live. So the first question that you have right now is, I'd like to know where you live. Where are you joining us from right now? So we're going to put that question in the chat box and then tell us your city and your state. If you are not in the United States, please tell us your country and let us know where you're at. Great, and as you're doing that, let's look over our agenda very quickly. As I said, we're talking about habitats and specifically aquatic habitats. And with that being said, we're going to explore a couple of different places here in the United States that have some exciting habitats. And you'll get to meet a couple of my favorite friends in the world. So happy to have you here. Before we get started, I would like for us to be a little bit more acquainted. So like I said, my name is Teacher Courtney. Hello. And a couple things about me. You can see on the screen, that is my golden retriever, Wallace. He's my favorite. I love to be outside and go camping and hiking. I love to travel. And of course, I love my students. So I'm so excited to have a bunch of new students with us today. It's so awesome. So thank you so much for being here. And then who are we? We are Banyan Global Learning. And that's just a big collection or a group of teachers that are located all over the world and the United States, and we come together to teach students like you. And today we're going to do it in the form of a field trip. So you guys are actually going to be explorers today, and that's a really exciting thing. So let's get a little bit of a better idea of where we are today. So let's start with me. Here's the United States. I'm in the United States, but I am in Fort Pierce, Florida. So as you can see behind me, my habitat is very green and lush and it's sunny. Hopefully it doesn't rain because it might get a little loud. So this is where I am. I'm on the East Coast of the United States. Now today we're going to be meeting some of my favorite teacher friends. One is located in Portland, Oregon. Now that's all the way across the United States on the West Coast. And it's a beautiful place. It's very green as well, but very different from Florida, and lots of mountains and rivers. It's a very special place. And the other place we're going to visit is Los Angeles, California. And that is south of Portland and just north of Mexico. And we're going to visit there as well. So before we go any further, I actually want to introduce my two very special teacher friends, Teacher Seth and Teacher Travis. Gentlemen, can you please join us?
We sure can, and I have a special guest star here today. I have Professor Vita, who's along here with me. Say hi, Professor Vita.
Hi.
And she is our guest professor today, who's going to help us learn some things about nature and also make some important decisions. What about you, Teacher Travis?
Yeah, hey, good morning, everyone. Really nice to be with you all. Teacher Travis here. I am in Los Angeles. I know you can't really see it, but right by one of these little trees where my finger is, you can see downtown Los Angeles. I'm about 10 minutes away. It's a little bit cloudy. On some days you can see the beach. I'm up high on like a hilltop in the middle of the city, but there's some great habitats here. Very different than Portland, very different than Los Angeles. So I'm excited to show you around. This is my neighborhood. I walked up here because we are social distancing. So this is my hood, and I'm excited to show you guys a little bit of this habitat.
That's great. Thank you so much. So exciting. I'm having a bunch of students that are telling me where they're located right now. So I wanted to show you and share with you. One is New York. So we went from all the way from California back over to the East Coast to New York. And then we have another one that is in Washington State. So let's see here. And actually, I'm not sure the city. We are in Boswell, Washington. Love it. Let's check it out. And I really do love Google Earth just because you can go and explore all these crazy places and you can see how connected we really are. So we're going all the way back over here, and then we will go back to the East Coast for another student that I have in New Jersey. So let's check it out here, back across the United States. Thank you all for participating. I also have students that are joining us from Atlanta, from New Mexico, from Colorado, Tennessee, Minnesota, and Taiwan. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Okay, so now we know where our teachers are and who's involved. But I have one more friend that I would like to introduce you to. And this is my friend, Tahoe the Turtle. Now, he's a Floridian turtle. So everyone please say hello to Tahoe. And he's very excited to be here. Now, Tahoe has lived in my yard for a very long time, like 10 years or so, and he's looking for a new habitat. He'd like to explore the world a little bit and see it a little bit more. So I wanted to let you guys know a little bit about Tahoe first. So Tahoe is a red slider turtle, and these are very popular turtles throughout the United States. They are freshwater turtles, right? Yes. Freshwater turtles, so that means that they do not live in saltwater or ocean water. They live in lakes and ponds and fresh water. The females are usually larger than the males, so the lady turtles are usually a little bit bigger than the males like Tahoe, and their skin and shell is olive green or brown. And sometimes you can see in the picture, it has yellow stripes, and then it has that red patch, and that's where we get the red slider from. And here's the thing that's important too, is that they can live up to 20 years. So I think that Tahoe, yeah, he's saying that he's been in Florida for 10 years and he wants to spend the rest of his life somewhere else. I get it. I think that makes a lot of sense. Cool. So Tahoe needs your help to decide where he should live. Teacher Seth and Teacher Travis have both offered for him to come and live in Portland, Oregon, or in Los Angeles, California. And Tahoe doesn't know what to do. And I tried to talk to him and help him, but I don't know either. So this is what we're going to do. You are going to help us find the best home for Tahoe. So first of all, before we even do that, I want everyone to stop and think. What is a habitat? What does this word mean, habitat? We're actually going to put a question up on your screen, so please answer in the Q&A and tell us, what is a habitat, and be as specific as possible. So tell us exactly what you think a habitat is. And do that now. I'll give you guys a moment, and we're going to be posting that right now. What is a habitat? And I see lots of responses coming in. Thank you everyone for participating. And I have Marielle is asking me if Tahoe is a real turtle. We'll let you guys decide that in the end, if Tahoe is a real turtle. He says yes. We have where animals live, a place that you live. So we know that humans can have a habitat and also animals can have a habitat. That's really important. Nice job, Laura Freeman. It's your home, Joey Ross says. Good, Joey, it is your home. It's hard to explain. Yes, that's true. A place where an animal lives. And so for Tahoe, someone here Laura put in water, and that's great. Matthew in Atlanta says where you live. Good. Thank you guys for participating. This is so awesome to see all of your names coming up here. Hannah Englund says a habitat is a place that you live. Okay, you guys got it. Easy. Perfect. So it's your home, just like you said, for plants and animals and humans. And it's the environment where you live. So I live in a home, but Tahoe has a different style of home. So here's another question for you, and I need you all to participate again. What are different habitats that you know? So I said a home for me, but what are different animal habitats that you can think of? And we're putting this up in the chat right now, and I already have people participating. You guys are so awesome. Lakes, swamps, forests, oceans, deserts, ocean for the fish, ponds, Marsh. This is so great. Think about too, rainforest, jungle. What about cold? Can someone tell me what is like a cold habitat? Lakes, penguins, good. So penguins tend to live in cold environments. Arctic, wetlands, Antarctica, good. Tundra, nice. There we go. I like it. Perfect. So these are all habitats. This is really interesting, huh? We're way into it. Good job, everyone. Thank you so much. So one other type of habitat is an aquatic habitat. So you can see up on the screen, there's a picture of one of Tahoe's good friends, and he is hanging out in an aquatic habitat. That means that you need water to live by or in. So these are called aquatic habitats, and this is something that Tahoe loves very much. And he said, thank you for helping, everyone. You're doing a great job. One other thing, let's think about turtles in general. So maybe you haven't seen a turtle before out in the wild, in nature, but you might have seen them in an aquarium. So as we're going through this and thinking of a home for Tahoe, my good buddy, think about these things. What kinds of foods do they eat? So foods that are fed to a turtle in an aquarium are like maybe lettuce or apples that are given to them from the turtle parent, a human. But that might not be the case when they're out in the wild. Think about what they do for shelter and safety in an aquarium, because I'm going to come back to this question. And what temperature is the water? If it's a pet, I think that the water might be different for Tahoe if he was living in an aquarium or if he was living out in the wild. How would he stay warm? Okay, guys, so that was a lot of information. Thank you all for helping. We got started and we're ready to go. Tahoe is really excited to see Teacher Seth and Teacher Travis. So excited. Okay, so one thing that Tahoe likes to do is to play games. So he likes to hide clues in his shell to share with people to help him decide where he's going to live. So let's check it out. This is one of Tahoe's clues. So let's see here. It says, and all of you can read at home as well. I'll let you read for a second. Okay, it says, I'm amphibious. My home is underwater, but I can also live on land. He's amphibious. That is a great word. And actually, this is a good place for me to stop. And I want to ask Professor Vida. Professor Vida, what does amphibious mean?
Amphibious means it lives on water and land. Like, take an example for frogs. Frogs go, they start out as a tadpole and live in the water. And then when they keep on growing older and older and older, they jump onto land. But sometimes they also visit the water. So it means amphibious means like they are in water and land.
Professor
Excellent.
Vida.
That's great. Teacher Seth, can you tell us the habitat that you're sitting in right now? We're so interested. What does it look like in terms of the plants around you, those types of things?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to ask a question first, though. You kind of hinted at this a couple times, but is Tahoe the turtle talking to you?
So Tahoe is pretty shy, Teacher Seth. And so he doesn't always want to be talking to a big group of students, which makes sense. So he likes to tell me, and then I can tell you.
Oh,
Pretty
so
cool.
he's whispering in your ear. Wow.
Very
so
much.
Maybe I can talk directly to him here because he's looking for a new place to live, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Tahoe, let me tell you, this place, Portland, Oregon, it might be the place for you. If we look around here, check it out. I am at a little lake, and there are some bushy plants around. There are some really big pine trees that we can see on this beautiful blue sky day in Portland, Oregon. There are some deciduous trees, which means trees that lose their leaves over here. You see that these leaves are not back yet, even though it's springtime. But if you look over here, like these deciduous trees, they do have their leaves. They are coming back. And it's pretty wet here, so there's just a lot of green everywhere. But you might think that I am in the middle of a forest. I'm not. I'm actually right in the middle of Portland, Oregon. I'm in a city. And this city was built where there used to be a forest. And that's why some of these trees are still here. But right now, it's like a little slice of forest in the middle of the city. So Tahoe, if you like people, you should come here because we got everything that you want. We've got water, we've got food, we've got shelter, and we got a bunch of people around because it's a city.
And it's also really warm in the water.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, Teacher Travis? I imagine that you have a setting that is not nearly as well suited for Tahoe as Portland, Oregon. Is that right?
I think you're trying to start an argument with me, Teacher Seth, and I know that I am going to win because Los Angeles is a wonderful habitat for people and turtles. So let me spin around. I was showing you guys that downtown is behind me, but no turtle wants to live downtown. So let me spin my camera around. All right. Now, if I back up, you guys can see, like Teacher Seth, it's another pond. It's a lot smaller than Teacher Seth's. But I want to share with you the actual habitat that's here because I saw where all of you are from. And so many of you, I saw Michigan, I saw Anchorage, Alaska, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, Washington State, some really great places around America. But America has a lot of similar habitats, right? So if you are in a small woods or forest in Michigan or Ohio, it's going to be the same. Same thing in Portland. It's kind of the same. Los Angeles, though, has a special habitat. It's called a Mediterranean habitat. Mediterranean is like the Mediterranean Sea in Europe, and it's called that because of the temperature, and it's called that because of the rain, and because of the plants that are here. So Los Angeles, you know, people want to live here. It's sunny. It's always nice. In the summertime, guys, it's about 85 degrees during the day and like 66 at night. So not very hot at night. It kind of cools down a little bit. In the wintertime, the average temperature is about 64 degrees. The high, not so bad, right? That's Mediterranean. It's kind of in the middle. Really quickly, let's talk about some plants because a Mediterranean climate has special plants, and this will be different for Tahoe if he wants to come here or if he wants to come over to Portland. So some plants that are, you know, some of them are unique, some are not unique. Of course, we got pine trees. These are everywhere, all over America, up to Alaska. They're even down in Florida. So nothing special here. I don't think a turtle would like to eat these leaves. Not many animals eat pine needles. They're not very nutritious, right? And they're kind of hard and spiky. I'll show you another plant. This one is special, all right? This is just a big branch, and these leaves are very long, and when they're not wet, it's been raining in Los Angeles, they're kind of silvery. This is a eucalyptus tree. I don't know if anyone can think of another animal that eats eucalyptus leaves. It's cute, it's cuddly, it's from down under in Australia. It's a koala bear. So koala bears eat these. So there's lots of eucalyptus trees that are here. They fall in the water, could be good things to eat. And then the last thing I'm gonna show you guys, I love this tree right here. See if I can get a good shot of it. You can see it's really smooth bark. I love it kind of like has these little ripples and folds on the edges up here. This is a pepper tree. You can see these thin leaves and little peppercorns grow from the ends, and you can get pepper from that. So that's also a special tree here. So lots of special things to eat for Tahoe. And I know that when this trip is done, all of you guys are going to say that Tahoe should come here to Los Angeles to this pond in Debs Park. Teacher Courtney.
Hey, Teacher Travis.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Teacher Courtney. One moment. Do you know why koala bears are not real bears?
No, I don't know why.
Because they lack the right koalifications.
That
also,
is
one state.
Go on.
One state we did not mention that I saw pop up there is Indiana. Teacher Travis, do you know anyone from Indiana?
I do. He's right here. Yeah, I'm from Indiana. Yeah, no one from Indiana. That's too bad.
No, there's one person. There's one person.
Oh, there was? Oh, I didn't see. Who?
I don't know. He said, I'm in.
There we go. Yeah, Indiana here. I'm born and raised, guys. Whoever's from there, all over. Born in Indiana. All right, nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Sorry,
that
Teacher
is
Courtney.
great. Thank you, guys. Now, I'm sorry. Before we go any further, Teacher Seth, Teacher Travis, Professor Vita, I need to know. Oh, it's Jake Bird that is from Indiana. Welcome, Jake. We're happy to have you. I need to know about the climate. So I need to know about the weather and the climate, because I see all these plants and Tahoe's wondering, he's wondering if it's going to be the right weather for him and the right temperatures. Tell me what you know.
Well, Vita, do you want to take this one? What's the weather like? What's the climate like here in Portland, Oregon?
It's actually pretty cold, but there's a little secret in the pond. The pond has a lot of mud that is really hot. And sometimes in the summertime, it's like 100 or 85 degrees.
It's true. It gets pretty toasty in the summertime. The weather today is actually quite beautifully blue, which is not the same as the climate. The climate typically here is very rainy. And I know the turtles like water, so rain is good. And as Vita mentioned, during the winter, it does get cold. It snowed a couple times this year. Even this lake right here, it could even freeze over, but it's got that special mud inside the lake that the turtle can hide in and keep warm. So even though it's a little colder here than Los Angeles, it's not a problem for Tahoe. Right, Tahoe? You down? You coming? You coming to Portland? I hope so. What about you, Teacher Travis?
Yeah, the climate in Los Angeles. I mentioned it's a Mediterranean climate, right? So that means it's not too hot, not too cold, isn't that what all of us want? No offense. I know there's some Anchorage, Alaska people. I know maybe you love the snow, and I do too. Tahoe, there's mountains in Los Angeles. You can go skiing if you want. But it's in the middle, so it's really, really nice. That's why people live here. In fact, that's also why turtles live here. So I just want to mention here that Tahoe, if you're worried about companionship and friendship in this time that we're sheltering at home, if this is your home, I got someone here I want to show you. Let's take a look. Could this be? I don't know if you guys can see. Let me switch my camera so I can show you a little bit better. Let's get a little closer. I hope he doesn't jump in the water. This right here, guys, is a red slider. Check it out. You can see the red right next to his head. Oh, there, get the leaves out of the way. So he's hanging out. There's actually a lot of turtles that live in here. So Tahoe, if you wanna hang out, you got a buddy. And the climate is fantastic. Teacher Courtney.
Oh, wow. You just made Tahoe so excited, Teacher Travis. My goodness. That is pretty awesome. He does like friends. He's a social turtle. I mean, I see why he would want to go there. Okay, this is great. So let's get back to it a little bit. I need some help here. Students, explorers, I need you to stop and think about what the climate and the weather, what is best for a turtle? And so which is best for Tahoe? Is it Deb's Park or is it the Furwood Park? And I just want you to think about that as we're going, because Tahoe likes warm weather, but he doesn't want to be too hot because then he gets uncomfortable. And we do know he likes friends. So there's a lot of information going on here. So I do have another question for you. Let's check it out. What else is important about finding a new home? So we know that the climate and the weather are important, and the habitat itself, and if it's a good place for Tahoe to live. But now I need to know about different animals that are there and those type of things, and the plants that he could eat. Now, I know you talked a little bit about the trees that are around and that type of thing, but we know that Tahoe, he has another clue, and everyone can read it up on the screen, and then I'm gonna pull it out here. It says, I am an omnivore, I eat small plants and animals, and sometimes I even eat other turtles. Tahoe, we need to talk about that. Tahoe. Okay, he's an omnivore. Teacher Seth, and actually Professor Vita, can you tell me about omnivores, please?
Omnivores are animals that eat food and eat food that is meat and plants. So, for example, a lot of a lot of rhinoceroses sometimes.
And what about people, Vita? Are people omnivores?
Well, owl people. I'm an herbivore.
You're an herbivore?
Yeah, but lots of people are omnivores.
Oh, right on. I'm an herbivore too. Yeah, that's what omnivores are. Should we show you some of the things that Tahoe can eat here in Portland, Teacher Courtney?
Please do. I'd love to know.
Cool. So I'm going to take you guys over to the edge of the pond here. You know, one thing is that Portland is super, super wet, as I mentioned. And you guys see this stuff here on the edge, on these rocks? You see this kind of fuzzy green stuff? I'm looking over here and it is actually kind of everywhere. It's on this tree, right? The bark of the tree is just covered in this. Does anybody know what that's called? Does anybody want to say in the chat window what this stuff is called, this green stuff right here? Ooh, I'm getting a lot of moss. It is moss, right? So there's a lot of moss here, and the turtles that live in this lake, but they are hiding right now, those turtles love to come up to the edge and take a little bite out of this nice, furry, nutritious moss that's just sitting there right at the edge of the lake for them. And if they're feeling like they're in a meat eater phase, they might want to eat one of the many little tiny fish that live in here. They're also hiding because all of the animals here in Portland are very safe because they have places to hide. But there's plenty of food in here. And then you'll also see at the bottom here, there's a lot of organic material, a lot of leaves that have fallen in, and there's a lot of algae that's growing on the sticks and on the leaves. And turtles love to eat that kind of thing. They love to eat that kind of, oh, I mean, look at Tahoe right now. He's going crazy. He's so excited. Teacher Travis, is it super wet in Los Angeles as well so that Tahoe would have a lot of moss and algae to eat?
Well, that's assuming Tahoe loves to eat moss, and I don't know if he does yet, Teacher Seth. No, it is not super wet here, although it is today, and if you guys can see, I'll move away, you can see the drops falling on the pond. This is the rainy season in Los Angeles. We get rain for about 4 months in the wintertime, and then we get no rain during the summer. So the climate really changes the kinds of plants and animals that can live here, for sure. So no, if I pan it, let me show you, here's just a huge pine tree, no moss, right? Pine trees back here, no moss. So yeah, moss does not grow here because moss does need to be wet all year long. As soon as it dries out, it can't grow, it can't reproduce. So there's no moss, but there are still lots of things to eat. And I'm curious, maybe I saw a student, I think her name was Katie, Kaydee. She said she has 2 box turtles. So maybe you can share what you feed those turtles in the chat window. Up here, this is a park where lots of people walk. Los Angeles has lots of farms. And so one thing that you might see here is the occasional apple. So I know if you feed your turtle apples, you might have people that drop food. But if Tahoe's going to be here by himself, there's not many people walking around now because we're all staying at home. So what can he eat? Well, let me show you most of the plants that are here. In a dry Mediterranean environment, you get a lot of grasses. So I'm going to spin my camera around, and you can see here at the edge of this pond, you can see some of these grasses are green. A lot of them have already begun to die and become brown, which they'll look like for most of the year. So there are these kinds of grasses here. Of course, in the water, just like in Portland, you can see a lot of dead, as my camera flips, sorry guys. You can see a lot of dead vegetation, dead leaves, dead grasses. So of course that's there for Tahoe to eat. I'm gonna come down here. There's a nice this little pond here has a little, I don't know, like a little canal sort of thing and a little pond. And if we come down here, we have this really cool, it's covered. You might think it's dirty, but it's not. These are actually really tiny, tiny little plants. It's not algae, they are plants. And of course, Tahoe could live underneath there. You could eat those. So we do have, here's some more. Let me scoop some up so you guys can really see, what it looks like here. Right, tiny little plants. You can see they actually have little roots. So these are just floating plants in there. So those are some of the things that Tahoe can eat. And there's often there's bugs. There's lots of stuff around here that shows us that this is a healthy pond. That's very important. When you have an aquarium with fish or turtles with water, you need to make sure the water's clean. And having good insects and other plant material around helps keep it clean as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff to eat. We know that because there's turtles here. There's a few more I'll show you there's one right behind me in the middle of the water. There's 2 more floating. So there's a whole family here. So there must be plenty for Tahoe to eat here in Debs Park in Los Angeles. Teacher Courtney.
Awesome. Teacher Travis, I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
We have students wondering, why are turtles slow? Is it for the same reason that sloths are slow, or because they eat leaves, or why are they slow? Tahoe was wondering too. Great question.
That is a great question. Yeah, and there's a few different answers. You know, number one, you know, every animal is different and every animal fits into its environment. And I think we're going to talk about predators that turtles might have, things that might want to eat it. There's not a lot. So turtles don't need to be very fast. What are they going to run away from? If they're going to hide, they have a shell. That's their protection. Where if you are like a deer, you don't have a shell. The only thing you can do is run and run fast to get away from something. So that's number one. Number two, and this is important for the climate, is that turtles are cold-blooded. Reptiles are a type of, a turtle is a type of reptile, and most reptiles are cold-blooded. And I don't know if anyone knows what that means, and you can type it in the chat box right now as I'm kind of talking, because I'll say we're not cold-blooded, we're warm-blooded. Now, that doesn't mean that our blood is warm and that turtle's blood is cold. That's not what that means. What that means is, and you can do an experiment. It's still winter time for most of America, not where Teacher Courtney is in Florida, but if it's a cold place, go outside. Go out in your front yard, go outside your door, take your temperature. It's gonna be 98, 99 degrees, no matter where you are. Whether you're in Anchorage, Alaska, and you're standing in a pile of snow, it's gonna be 98 degrees. If you're in Florida, where it's, 90 degrees outside, it's still gonna be 98, 99 degrees. That's because we keep our bodies warm. Inside, the food we eat, it gives us energy, we stay warm. A turtle, though, is not warm-blooded, it's cold-blooded. It can't keep itself warm, so it needs sunshine, which we have a lot of here in Los Angeles. That's why turtles, again, Katie, I'm sure you have a heat lamp in your aquarium. The heat lamp is what gives the turtle some warmth, and it raises the temperature. Yep, she's got one, right? So it raises the temperature, and then when the turtle feels warm, it'll start moving. So if a turtle is like not moving at all, one reason might be it's too cold and it needs more energy. So you got to warm it up. And actually, I didn't show you guys because they're not here right now. In the summertime, I showed you this little canal here. Let's see if I can. There we go. All these rocks. It's like a little lounge place, and the turtles can go and when it's sunny out, they sit up on those rocks and they just bask in the sunshine and they warm up, and then they can go eat all the good stuff that's here. So thanks for that question. I don't know who asked it, but Teacher Courtney, thanks for passing it along.
Yeah, wow, Tahoe just got so excited to see those rocks for him to lay on, my goodness. Also, everyone, I'm getting all of your responses, and you guys are doing such an amazing job. We know that Katie and Dylan both have turtles at home, which is so cool. And then Jake was telling us that it means that if they're cold-blooded, then they need the sun to warm up. Right on, Jake, so smart, love it, thank you. We're talking here about that they don't have body heat. Katie wanted to say that they're not actually that slow, that turtles can be kind of quick actually, and she wanted everyone to know that as well. And then we have other students here that have frogs. Laura's friend has a turtle. There's lots of turtles in Michigan. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much. All right, back to it. Stop and think. Here's your next question, explorers. What is the same about these two habitats and what's different? So we want to know, what is the same about Los Angeles and this specific habitat for Tahoe and in Portland, Oregon? And then what is different about these things? And Teacher Travis and Teacher Seth have been showing you and telling you a lot here. So go ahead and answer in the chat window. And it's up on the screen if you need to look at it for a second, and we'll get your responses going. Nice, here they come. I love it. Okay, and remember, be specific about which place has what, so I know. They're both forests, very good. There's healthy food. What else do we have here? The same, Brett and Isaac Spohr say, the same is that they both have water. The different is one is a little bit colder and one is hotter. So we know that the climate in Oregon, in Portland, is going to be colder than the climate, which is a Mediterranean climate in Los Angeles, California. Great. Laura says they both have people. Very good. One is cold, one is warm, and they both are ponds, which is similar. Excellent. Nice work, everyone. Thank you. Okay. So let's keep going here. We talked about the food, and let's get to our last clue here. Clue number 3 out of Tahoe. Thank you, Tahoe. Oh, he's holding it this time for me. Okay, everyone read to yourselves really quickly, and then I will read to you. So Tahoe hides in his shell like this for protection. And that's what Teacher Travis was talking about. But he also likes to hide in muddy water. It's harder for people to find him when he's camouflaged. And I just love this word. Love it, Tahoe. It's a great word. I want to know more about it. And I think I know someone who can help. Professor Vita, can you help me out here?
Yes, I can. So, camouflage means that, like, that you blend into, like, your environment. So, let's take an example here for chameleons. They blend in with, like, the trees so they can get their food without being seen. And, like, they blend in with the, sometimes, like, if there's, like, some green stuff on the, like, mostly whatever the chameleons touch, they like camouflage it if they tell themselves to camouflage.
Yeah, they're like masters of camouflage. A lot of other animals, of course, they just always are the same color, but it tends to be the color of their environment so that they can hide, especially from predators. And that's what I wanted to talk about here in Portland, Oregon, because I know you guys are going to have to make this decision at the end of this trip here. You're going to have to decide, where does Tahoe go? And I'll admit it sounds pretty nice to be in warm, sunny Los Angeles. And look at all the turtles in that pond. Like, I'm sure that Tahoe would love to hang out with other turtles, right? But here's the thing, is that you can see all of the turtles in Los Angeles because, I don't know, it kind of looks to me that there aren't that many places to hide. We talked about the mud that the turtles hide in the wintertime to stay nice and warm. But check out this bush that's right here on the edge. And this is to say nothing of that little island in the middle of the lake there, which has a ton of those bushes. But these bushes, they're right up at the edge of the lake. And it just seems like it would be the best hiding spot for a turtle. And maybe Katie and Dylan can tell us if they think that their turtle would really like this hiding spot. I mean, look at this. It is so warm. It's got a bunch of moss. It is next to the water, but next to the land, so it's amphibious. It just seems like it'd be a great hiding space. And if you look all around this little lake here, you see a lot. Oh man, look at that group of grasses over there. And, you know, don't get me wrong, there are predators here. There are predators. The main predator, a big predator, is America's predator, the bald eagle. Yes, we have bald eagles here in Portland. I've seen one in the wild, and it was super, super cool. Such a beautiful animal. And yeah, they would eat a turtle. They'd be able to get through the shell because they could take it up really high and drop it, and the shell would crack. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't talk about that in front of Tahoe. But the good news is that you can hide. You can hide from a bald eagle here in Portland because there are so many bushes and grasses and mud and awesome places to hide. And I don't want to like put you on the spot here, teacher Travis, but like,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Do you have something similar like that in Los Angeles, or can we just agree that Portland is the better place for Tahoe to come?
No, we cannot agree, Teacher Seth. I will not agree with that. First, students, we have to be honest. Let's talk about predators. That is, animals, what do? They eat and they try to live every single day and try to make more turtles. That's an animal's life. So one of the things they need to watch out for are predators. Teacher Seth said that there are bald eagles in Portland. There aren't any bald eagles really here in Los Angeles that live here regularly, but we do have other large eagles. We have red-tailed hawks and other kinds of hawks that can eat a turtle. Other animals that we have here, again, this is my neighborhood. I live down the bottom of the hill. There's lots of raccoons and skunks. So those are animals that are omnivores that kind of eat anything. A turtle is hard to eat. So you have to be determined to want to try to eat it because of that hard shell. So you think about these animals that climb into garbage cans and stuff that are determined to eat whatever they can find. They really like turtles. So Tahoe, I am sorry, there are those animals here, raccoons, as I said, skunks, possums. Another animal that's pretty special though in Los Angeles, and I really ask everyone to check this animal out because it is a mountain lion. Now, mountain lions are also called pumas. You might not think that there are mountain lions in a big city like Los Angeles, but there is. In fact, I encourage all of you, either right now or after the trip, I want you guys to look up the mountain lion's name. His name is P, the letter P, 22. He's a very famous mountain lion. He lives in the hills. And mountain lions can also eat turtles, though not very much. So there are predators, Tahoe. I'm sorry, but I don't know. The turtles here seem pretty safe. So let me show you guys real quick. Teacher Seth showed you that, like the bush and stuff. I've already mentioned these grasses. These grasses, here, let me take my phone out. Let me see a little bit easier here and get closer. All right, let's take a look. So we have, a lot of these grasses, as they enter the water, they create little holes, little pockets that are great for turtles to go and hide in. I saw Dylan said his turtle loves to go in the mud. Again, you can see that's all very, very muddy, and turtles can slide in there. All along this edge, you can imagine all of these bushes and grasses along the edge are perfect places for turtles to hide. But as I showed you guys, the turtles are just mostly floating or sitting on rocks because I think they feel pretty safe here. So if they need to, they can hide. It is muddy here. Let's take a look at the water one more time. It's very clear. Let's get this stick here. It's kind of, try to scoop up some of the mud here. Just get my hand in there. Right, so that's kind of what you see at the bottom. Just pretty normal mud pond stuff. See if I can see any bugs.
Tahoe loves that, Teacher Travis.
I know, yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any like little invertebrates. Invertebrates are like little insects because, turtles are, like you said, omnivores, and they eat other things. And it would tell us that the pond is very healthy. I saw some earlier, but I don't see any right now. So they're there, lots of things to eat, lots of things to hide from. I'm really sorry, Seth, but I think it's pretty obvious where Tahoe should go. I hope Tahoe's been listening to me, because there's one place, and it's Los Angeles. Teacher Courtney.
All right. So it is time, everyone. Explorers, I need your help. And more importantly, Tahoe needs your help. Both places sound so good to Tahoe. He just keeps telling me that he thinks that both places are a perfect fit for him. They have positives and negatives, and he's really excited. Plus, he likes to be close to Teacher Travis and Teacher Seth. It's an awesome part of this. So right now, from you, everyone, you have to take your vote here and tell us which is the better habitat for Tahoe.
What do you think, Vita?
Portland, Oregon.
It's obviously Portland, Oregon, you guys.
And
Don't let
Travis.
Teacher Seth convince you guys. Think for yourselves. Listen to what was said. I think it's an obvious choice. Oh no, I'm seeing people type the wrong answer.
I'm seeing people type the wrong answer too, Teacher Travis.
Yeah, okay, so let me see here. And we have Teacher Jackie that's helping us behind the scenes. And Teacher Jackie, if you can tally these, if you have a better view there, we're getting all of these. So I'm gonna go through and say what everyone is saying so you can hear your name, because that's important. Brett says LA. Oh, Brett and Isaac say LA. I'm not sure how to say this beautiful name. Avenha says Portland, Oregon. Sarah says Portland, Oregon. Joey says LA. What else we have? Jake says LA. Go ahead.
If you guys want to type some Y's in there too, that would be interesting. Like why you made the choice that you made. Even if you already typed your answer, you can type it again with your Y. Especially if your answer is Portland.
Laura said why. She said LA because of friends. Because Tahoe is social and he likes friends, which I like that. That's true. Let me see what else. Wherever LA, because Tahoe can get friends. Good. All right. So it's looking pretty balanced here, gentlemen. California, because temps in the environment are closer to Florida. That's a good point. Nice, Brett and Isaac. I like it. Dylan likes Portland because there's more mud. These are such great answers. You guys are doing such a good job. It's pretty close to 50-50 here, to be honest with you. My goodness. LA from Jake. All right. So Amanda says LA. Uh-oh, so we got to count these up now.
I mean, I feel like there's a very critical thing we're not asking right now, Teacher Courtney.
And what's that?
Should we ask Tahoe?
So Tahoe was whispering to me, explorers, and he was wondering if it's easy to get from Portland, Oregon down to Los Angeles so he can spend some of his time in Portland and some of his time down in LA, depending on the season. What do you guys think of that? Is that something that could happen?
The world's best migrating turtle.
If we said, yeah, a lot of students are saying yes, they like that. Nice, I like it. Good to hear. Yes. Avery thinks that's a great idea.
You know, I have family in Los Angeles, so maybe what I can do is if he comes and lives in Portland first, I can drive him down, I promise. I can drive him down and leave him with Teacher Travis, and then, you know, leave him there for a while, maybe during the winter, because even though he loves hiding in the mud up here, maybe he would like hanging out with his friends in the winter in the sunshine. And then when I come back and visit my family again, I can bring him back. Maybe we can do that.
That's a pretty good idea.
Well, if I can just add to everyone, you know, I like kind of that it's 50-50 also. You know, it's important to talk about with animals and humans is how well you can adapt. Adapt means sort of fit in. And humans are really good at adapting to different climates and different places around the world. We basically live everywhere except for Antarctica. And some animals can only live in certain places. You know, they might only live in Alaska or they might only live in Florida. But turtles are a pretty special animal because they can live, you know, almost anywhere. This turtle is the most popular turtle in the world for pets, and it's now been released all over the world. In fact, a little bit too much. There's a lot of countries that don't like it because people have it as pets and then they let it go. But it can live everywhere. So I think he'd be happy, honestly, in Portland or Los Angeles, really. He's an adaptable little guy.
Thanks, Teacher Travis. All right, so guys, it is time to go. But what we decided, we were talking while Teacher Travis was talking, and Tahoe is going to actually just stay in Florida for right now and shelter in place and practice his social distancing. And then soon enough, when everything gets back to normal, because explorers, it will get back to normal, we promise you, then Tahoe can go visit Portland and Los Angeles, and maybe he can make the decision for himself. How does that sound to you, Teacher Seth and Teacher Travis?
Good.
I suppose so. Stay safe,
Okay,
Tahoe.
the students think so too. Everyone, you're amazing. Thank you so much. All the participation just made my entire day. Teacher Seth, Professor Vita, Teacher Travis, thank you. Tammy, thank you for letting us go a little long. Tahoe says thank you to everyone. Stay safe. Have a great day.
Great job,
Thank you
everybody.
very much, Fanny Global Learning, and thank you, students, for joining us today. We had a great time. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.